Thank you.
Kennemer, and pledge led by Mr. Gary Stewart.
Almighty God, we give you thanks and praise for your great goodness towards us. We ask you to be with the mayor and council as they go about the public business this evening. Lead, guide, and direct them in all that they do. We acknowledge before you and give thanks, Lord God, for the rule of law in this country, which is recognized by Law Day today. Be with us all as we go about the public business. These things we ask in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Hamali Patel with us. Now is the time and place for public hearing in the application for alcohol license by Mr. Hamali Patel, doing business as Sunshine Food Mart. Ms. Phillips, would you share the particulars, please?
The applicant is Hamali Patel, type of license, retail beer and wine off-premise only. Establishment is Sunshine Food Mart, located at 4715 South Broad Street. There was no record indicated on the background investigation. There were 3 businesses surveyed with no objections, 5 residences surveyed with 4 no objections, and 1 door hanger left. The nearest church and school footage requirements were met. License application is in order. Health, fire, and building inspections comply, and zoning verification complies.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Is there anyone here in addition to the proprietor in support of this application? Anyone in support? Is there anyone here in opposition to this application? Hearing no objections, this concludes the public hearing in the case of Hamali Patel doing business as Sunshine Food Mart. We will have another public hearing next Monday night in this case. Next is alcohol license for Mr. Casey Sanders doing business as KC's Barbecue. Now is the time and place for a public hearing for the application for alcohol license by Mr. Casey Sanders doing business as KC's Barbecue. Is there anyone here in addition to Mr. Sanders that is in support of this application? Anyone in support? Is there anyone here in opposition to this application? Ms. Phillips, will you share the particulars?
The applicant is Casey Sanders, business Casey's Barbecue. Type of license is retail beer and wine on and off premise, located at 2302 County Park Road. There was 1 business surveyed with no objections. The nearest church and school footage requirements are met. License application is in order. Health, fire, and building inspections are pending final inspection, and the zoning verification is permissible non-conforming use because it's grandfathered.
Again, I'll ask, is there anyone here in opposition to this application? Hearing none, this concludes the public hearing in the case of Mr. Casey Sanders doing business as KC's Barbecue.
May we ask a question of each? Just where exactly are these 2 establishments?
I believe the first, Ms. Phillips, is South Broad Street.
BP.
Yeah, but where
It's the BP.
BP station, and then County Park Road, and where is it at?
County Park Restaurant.
All right, thank you.
Next is discuss Goose Pond Walking Trail recommendations. You have in your packet a letter and bid synopsis. Mr. Mayor, you want to discuss that?
Josh is going to explain.
Okay.
Good evening. As Tony said, you've got the recommendation letter from the engineer in your packet, and then you have the bid tabs. We had 2 bidders on the project. You can see the difference in the bids. And we're asking tonight to award the contract to CTS, or put it on the agenda, award the CTS excavations.
I believe, Josh, we were also, in addition to this information, were supplied documents that had the plans and things for the trail. Is that correct?
I'm not sure if it's in the
No, I
package.
saw them, but I'm not sure.
I don't know if the council did. I can send those out though.
Will you do that for us this week?
I will.
I'll place it on the agenda for next week.
Okay.
Any other questions for Josh? Any discussion?
This is that grant the city was awarded back last fall, late summer,
Late
early
summer.
fall. It's come connecting behind the Civic Center and then come down the side of the road towards the office of Goose Pond. But yeah, we'll get the.
And I believe the grant was in the amount of $100,000.
Yes,
Correct. Then we would be responsible for the remainder.
It's cost reimbursement. We have to pay up front and then they reimburse us.
Yes.
Any other discussion? Next, we have discussed AC units for the Retcom and the airport. Mr. Mayor, you want to talk about that? Or Ty, or who's?
This was, UNICEF, this was.
Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one.
Yeah.
Discuss municipal
Oh, okay.
intercept services.
I'm sorry.
I apologize, that's my fault. You have received some information via email, there's some other information in your packet this evening in relation to municipal intercept services. This is a service by the League of Municipalities for the state of Alabama that is a collection of debt. Is that right, Mr. Weaver?
Yes, sir.
My understanding is that we would register any outstanding debt with this service, and it would be levied against their state income tax. Is that, or state income tax return? Is that true?
Yes, sir, this is information I spoke to you about probably 3 weeks ago. Any debt that's owed the city, whether it be sanitation services, or it could even be services down at the court system that people owe the city. It's a service by which the Alabama League of Municipalities has a department that is in the process or in the business of collecting debts that are owed cities, towns, municipalities, hospitals, utility boards, that they will get the information from the cities. You send the information into them about the debt that's owed to your particular entity, and then they will send it to the Alabama Department of Revenue. It's only collection for individuals. There's no corporations that can be collected at this time. You must have a social security number of the particular individual in order to do this. The Alabama Department of Revenue will, if there is a refund owed to a particular individual, they will intercept that refund up to the amount that is owed to the particular municipality or other entity. If the debt that is owed to that particular entity is more than the refund that they have at that time, then you would be able to go back in the next year and put in the amount for a collection again the following year. After the debt is intercepted, the particular taxpayer is sent a notification that the money has been intercepted through the Alabama Department of Revenue. And they have a particular amount of time to appeal the process. And the appeals process actually would go through the city. The city would have to set up some kind of a board and appeals process for that to go through. If the appeal is not withheld, then the money is kept by the city.
I think we had discussed that for logistic purposes, we wouldn't want to intermingle municipal and municipal court.
That's correct. And that would be my recommendation, is that you can have as many particular entities that you want to have through the municipal intercept services. Mr. Chang was here just a little bit ago, and I actually told him that that might be something that they would want to look at doing. I spoke with Jessica a couple weeks ago and told her that the hospital might actually want to be a part of it. So you can have as many as you would like. And I would recommend that the court system be kept separate, and for them to have like their own bank account, and then they would be able to post it to a person's fines, and then it would just go through the normal process of coming to the city in the general fund at that time.
Any questions, comments, discussion?
As you, I would like to hear from someone who has been involved in this in the past. And I guess I'd like to really understand this hearing process and how, if you feel like you didn't know it and it took us, how that works, because I can see where that could be abused, the whole system. Not that we would do that, but there are people who might. And you don't have any saved. I mean, the money's gone before you even get process. You know, I'm really unclear on how that's going to work. And whatever we do, we want to be fair.
One of the things that you have to go through is your normal process of collections. You have to have it on your books for at least 60 days. So whatever collection processes that we normally go through, then that would have to be accomplished first before that you could actually send it to the intercept services.
Do you know of anyone who is already doing this, or we might stop it?
There are several entities that have already done this process. I noticed a while ago on their website, I believe I told you that there was over $250,000, $300,000 that was collected the first year. I saw a while ago that there was about $740,000 of debt that had been collected through this service through April of 2017.
Still,
But I can get someone
We
here.
can find some
to-
other municipalities
Yeah.
within the state and get some references and make
yeah, I'd
contact.
like to talk to someone who actually did this. And
Sure. From the city standpoint, not the collecting agency standpoint. correct? Yeah.
This hearing thing, that's
Sure.
kind of up in the air. I mean, we're talking about a hearing, but we haven't really said what that hearing consists of.
Ms. Bowman.
I was going to be
Again, my concern would be having the process in place for the appeals hearing and making sure that it's a fair and equitable process. So,
And that's one thing that the city does itself. It's not something that the Municipal Intercept Services sets up for you. So I think that's pretty open of how that you can set that up. Is that right?
It's my understanding you could appoint everything from the hearing officer to the entire council itself.
We'll get some feedback from other cities and see how they're doing.
I was gonna ask you if you could give us maybe 3 other municipalities that are our similar size, its contacts.
Sure. I'm not sure that there will be the similar size because it's pretty much
Close as possible.
startup.
Yeah.
Do you know how long this has been in place, or it's been around to use it?
It's been in place about 2 years now.
Can you, I know I'm asking you off the top of your head, but can you tell me approximately just in the last year, what kind of debt loads we're talking about for the city?
We really don't have that much of uncollectibles as far as the sanitation service goes. There are a few, that we have to stay on top of to get our money from them. I think probably the most that you would probably see from this would be through the court system.
But again, we're kind of saying that they need to do that on their own.
But we would still have to authorize it.
Yeah, you'd still have to authorize it.
Any other discussion? Thank you. Now we move to item 5, discuss AC units at the Redcom and Airport Authority.
Yes, sir. It's that time of year again, and both places have identified a unit. I'll let Yvonne come up and explain hers. It's the large unit over the older gym in the Redcom that's gone out, and she can explain the history behind that, but we're needing to replace that one versus just do a fix.
The unit's like 7 years old, and the part to fix it is almost $6,000 versus, and you can buy a new one for tens. It just felt like, and so did both of the companies that I got quotes from, suggested that we do a new one versus repair because of the age of the unit.
How old is you say?
7 years, it's 20 years old.
Is that a normal lifespan or unit? 7 years?
Doesn't seem real long, really, but,
Oh, my last one, never.
yeah, this is one of the large units. This unit will have to have a crane to be even on the repair. If we, if you chose to go the repair route, the unit, as I understand, it's going to have to be set off with a crane to be repaired and set back on. There's a crane going to be involved out there. Rather large unit that services that unit.
May I ask who you talked to?
Central and Southern.
Did we just pick 2, or did we ask for everybody to do that, or?
No, I just picked those 2. That's a normal week. It's either Southern or Central or Valley, that never does either.
I'd kind of like to talk to all of them that has a business license for that in the city of Scottsboro.
We'll be glad that we had reached out when we implemented just a routine maintenance contract, and several rejected because they didn't do commercial work. But we'll reach out to a couple of others and see if they're willing to give us a
Just
price.
give them that opportunity.
Yes,
If they know it's fine.
Sure.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Yvonne, is this part of what would be involved in the Redcom renovation?
Well, it's an essential part of as we renovate the Redcom, but, and I guess you could technically use some of that bond money. I mean, it's that facility, and we're trying to do some serious improvements, and then we'll be coming forward later in the month to discuss the other HVAC unit in the pool area.
The mayor is exactly right, Mr. President. If it has to do with improvement of the Redcom, the bond issue can be used for that purpose.
So we can take it out of that fund rather than general fund?
Yes, sir.
So we don't actually know how much money we're gonna have in there.
No, sir.
We don't, but we fully anticipate having some to do with pool work. Some, yes, sir. Certainly air conditioning for the building.
That's all.
Any other discussion for the Redcom? Hear you? Questions? You want to talk about the airport?
Sure. There again, we've got a unit that's gone out. This is an original unit when the addition was done up there. It's about 14 years old, so it does have a little longer life.
Yeah, we've had Central, since I've been around, and beginning of 2013, Central has done quite a few repairs on the unit. We've got 2. One does one half of the building, and the one that is out does the side of the building. It's got the break room where the pilots eat lunch and also their pilot lounge. And it hasn't been that hot yet, but it's hard to keep it under 78 or 80 degrees right now back there. And then when that unit's, the one that's working is trying to compensate for that side, so then it's hard to keep the other side of the building cool as well. They came out, Central came out first and said the compressor is completely shot, and that that's the only thing they can do is either replace the compressor, which they would not recommend since this unit's so old. It's the old type that they do not make anymore or whatever. So I got bids on both getting a new unit, which was recommended, or replacing the compressor. And so I got one from Central since they had been maintaining it. And then I was given the name of Valley, so Valley came out and gave a bid. And then also Southern gave a bid for both repairing the compressor and installing a new unit.
Questions,
I'd like to
discussion?
see the same principle applied here, to give everybody an opportunity to say no or appeal. It doesn't seem, you said they've been maintaining it, so you gave them that opportunity, but then you got 2 more. So I don't know, all we're gonna give it all, everybody that's in the business, and I think it's unfair. That's just my thing.
Anybody else? We'll put it on next week. If you would like, please supply any additional quotes for Ms. Phillips. We'll move to delegations. There are none. Reports, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir, 2 or 3 things. Found the notes here. In that regard, when we did put out the service work on the central units, how many bids did we send out, Josh?
We sent 5 out.
5 out and got
2 back.
2 back when we requested just routine service work. So, anyway. First off, as you know, we had the drought last year. Caldwell Park has got some trees that, when Eddie and his crew were doing some cleanup work, they identified some trees that were dead. So I talked to the tree commission. They went in. I wanted to get their blessing that they were dead. They have tagged the trees that are dead, and we're going through the process of getting those trees removed from Caldwell Park. So I just didn't want the public to be upset that we're in there cutting a bunch of trees. It's in the neighborhood of 10 to 12 trees that are going to be removed, and some are fairly large, but we need to get them out for safety purposes.
I believe those 10 or 12 will be replaced, correct?
Through the natural process. Also, during the past few months, we had been discussing with a company called Re-Energy, looking at changing out or conversion to LED lighting. They're promoting a energy savings on our utility bill and so forth. And we had looked at the library, the police station, and the RECCOM. And the RECCOM had a significant savings. And so I would like to, if I could, at the council's approval, have them come to the next work session, I think May 15th, and do a presentation. They have proposed, if they did a LED conversion throughout the entire RECCOM, which part of the pool fix is replacing some lighting and improving lighting, they're looking at a 13-month payback on just converting to LED lighting and putting sensors on where if somebody's not in the room, the lights are off and that sort of thing. So I'm asking if it's okay with y'all that they come to the next work session, do a presentation on the RECCOM and the cost savings there. Then also along downtown, I wanted to just touch briefly on the downtown renovation. As you know, we're working on the east side of the square. That's, I think, gone extremely well, and Mr. Kimmer and all the other merchants and businesses on that side have been very patient. They're moving really fast considering we've had some rain and delaying some of the pouring of the concrete, but I think it's going to be really nice, and that's going extremely well, I think, in that regard. We're still waiting on word from the state on the armory. We've been told that they have met, and we're going through the paperwork process, but we don't know anything other than we're going through the paperwork process. So we're just patiently waiting on acquiring the armory. That's all I have at this time.
Mr. Mayor, on the re-energy thing, we'll put that on the work session for the 15th.
Okay.
Could you get myself and Ms. Phillips some background information on that?
Sure.
That we can
We'll get it all.
distribute to the council so we can have questions
Sure.
ready when they come before us.
Okay.
Ms. Butler?
I wanted to thank everyone that participated in the health and safety fair, or the kids' health and safety fair at Highlands on Saturday. Fire Chief Jim did an excellent job organizing the accident simulation. That was really neat, and police department did a wonderful job with fingerprinting, and McGruff was there. It was a great event for all the families and kids, so thank you so much to everyone.
Thank you. Mr. Stewart?
Just want to thank everybody that came out to the Kiwanis Pancake Breakfast. This year was in honor of John Stewart, and anybody knows how many, he sells a lot of tickets. And then I wanted to thank, was it Eddie? Did y'all do the outline of that walking trail? Thank you for getting that done. That'll help. Over there across from the junior high school, there's a few people that had asked for a line on there.
Yeah, visually impaired marking there.
Appreciate that getting done. And then thank you, Jim, for keeping us abreast of what's going on over there. Veterans with the emails, so appreciate that. Other than that, just thank everybody for coming out tonight.
Mr. Gary Stewart?
No, just thank everyone for coming out tonight. That's all I have.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, Mr. Blizzard and his staff were at the Well Fitness Worship Center last Saturday, where they collected old motor oil, paint, computers and electronics, and for the first time, tires. And Joe Young, a minister there, and his staff were there to also help them to take care of this. And I thought that was very nice to let them use their parking lot and facility, as well as many of them helping with it. And according to Mr. Blizzard, it was quite successful. I was very pleased that they did include tires this year, because there had been no tire above my house in my community over a year, and there was nowhere for it to go.
Did you get that?
Now it's gone, and I appreciate that. As a matter of fact, I believe he told me they collected 80 tires. So that's 80 tires on the side of the road somewhere. They just do a great job, and I think when someone like this church helps, or someone like Mr. Blizzard goes out of his way to do something good for the city, we need to let people know that how much we appreciate it as a council and mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I was honored yesterday. We had a busy weekend. The Impact Luau was Friday night. It was well attended. Appreciate everybody that came out to that and supported Impact. Of course, the pancake breakfast was Saturday, and then yesterday evening I was honored to attend the memorial service for Mr. Tommy Armstrong, that served this county's assistant district attorney for some time. So just remember Tommy's family in your prayers as they deal with his loss. With that being said, we stand adjourned until next week.